So let's talk more about it with Ahmed Banafa, tech expert and engineering professor at San Jose State. All right, the tech industry really reeling from these layoffs. What is the fallout here?
Well, there's a lot of things that are associated with that. First of all, the trend in Silicon Valley is AI-first organizations. So this is basically how the companies are looking at it. They don't want to miss on the opportunity of using AI to replace some of the employees or automate, some of the tasks they are doing. But there's a lot of risk involved in this. And I look at it, for example, the morale of the employees that will stay at the company. It's going to be low. You're sitting in the cubicle next to you, your coworker used to sit there. Also, some of the experienced workers could just leave because they don't want to wait until their turn comes up and then they ask them to leave. And an important thing about this is the image that we see about the companies let go thousands and thousands of employees, and they say that part of that is because of the AI, not because of the AI as in a replacement as much. We're going to spend more money there, so that's going to be part one. And the two more point is the burnout that's going to happen to the teams that left, because now the trend in Silicon Valley is less smaller teams and more algorithm. And last is the important thing for us in Silicon Valley is that this kind of over automation can impact the innovation, because all the innovation we have seen in Silicon Valley is based on the human interaction, collaboration, experimentations, talking on the whole way, coffee machine, people can go and discuss that. So we could lose this. This is some of the risk that if we overdo that.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that final aspect, but you make a really good point there. I want to get to the cost of AI in just a moment. But aside from the massive AI investments, what are some of the other dynamics that companies are restructuring around right now?
They look at every job and they say, can AI do 30 or 50% of this job? If yes, they're going to go and replace it. That's one thing about it. And the other thing, they look at it and say, okay, AI can save, time and money and staff. Those are the three elements for looking at and using AI. Meta is a very special case in a sense of what happened today is actually three dimensions. Number one is the 8,000 people who lost their jobs. And also number two is the 7,000 that been reassigned so they can work with AI. And then there's on the third part of that, which is there are 6,000 opening at Meta that they're not going to be filled. They say, no, we're not going to hire new people. We're going to stay with that. This is just an example about a big company. How can they deal with this new trend? And we have seen Intuit, we have seen Block, we have seen Coinbase, we have seen Cisco also, a few weeks ago. All of them are following this. It's contagious. And this is how the dynamics in Silicon Valley. You do something, the other companies will look at it and say, okay, I don't want to miss on this one. I want to follow the same steps.
Yeah, the dominoes have sort of started to fall. All right, Ahmed, Mark Zuckerberg, though, addressed the layoffs in a company-wide meeting last month, according to employees, and said that, the takeaway that employees got was that he would prefer to keep everyone, but given AI costs so much to develop, his hands are tied. True?
Well, I cannot get in his mind, and say that. But we have failed experiment before, like the metaverse. That spending billions of dollars on that adventure, and then nothing came out because it's ahead of its time. It's not because it's a bad technology. Now, for AI, it's a little bit different because. He's, Meta in general is not the leader. They actually seen other companies. You've seen OpenAI, Anthropic, and you've seen Google. They have products that actually making money for them by having AI as the heart of that. And yesterday, Google just announced that on the search engine is now replaced by the AI engine that's going to answer all the questions. So they don't want to miss on that. They don't want to be left behind in this. And in order for you to accelerate this, you have to spend $125 billion to $140 billion. From where are you going to get that money? You have to cut cost. And now this is what happened. And that's not justification for getting rid of people, because the last thing you want to do is to ask people to be laid off or leaving their jobs.
Yeah, but that is the economic reality. AI development is expensive. All right, Professor, really appreciate it as always. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Heather.